Hey guys, I'm back with 8 of my favourite games from the Compo event of Ludum Dare 47, which had the theme, Stuck in a Loop. The Compo category is for games that have been developed by a solo developer from scratch within 48 hours. I also entered the category with my game, Infinite Rainbow Tower Smash, which you can find in the description along with the devlog I made for the game. So if you wanted to play and watch that, or even subscribe, I'd be very grateful. But let's get back to some of my favourite games from the Compo category that I think deserve a lot of praise for just generally being very, very, very good. Our first game is Ribbon by Blobo, and we are starting off with an absolute gem today. The aesthetic of this game just blew me away, and I'm not sure if I've ever seen anything quite like it. The game offers such unique perspective by blending 2D movement with these 3D winding, crazy shapes. I can't help but be impressed by what I'm seeing. It has a delightful cutscene at the start of the game, which I think bizarrely sets you up for the rest of the playthrough, which should only take a couple of really short but really sweet minutes. The gameplay is really nice and simple, which I think is ideal so as not to detract from the look of the game, which is definitely its most amazing part. I enjoyed this game thoroughly, and it all comes together into one neat package so nicely. So amazing stuff by the developer here. Our next game is State Your Name by OwlyCode. This game had the strongest narrative of any game I've played so far. The premise is simple. You are being asked questions in a terminal and you just have to answer them. However, the more you answer, the more you realise that everything isn't quite as it should seem. And I really don't want to spoil this game, as I really think you should experience it for yourself. The theme for this jam was woven into the story for this game incredibly neatly, and it's just done in a way that you couldn't get from a normal fiction book. And this notion is built upon further by the fact that the music really sets the tone for the whole story you're being told. It just all comes together so well. It only takes a few minutes to play, and I promise you'll be gripped the whole time you're playing this game. So really brilliant stuff here to the developer and the game they've made. Next, we have Stuck in a Loo by Xenon27, and this game was straight up the funniest game I played. I didn't really know what to expect going into this game, but I can only hope that it was based on some sort of real life experience. And it's a simple game. You're stuck in a portaloo, and giant pineapples are raining down from the sky that put you and your number 2 in great peril. As a result, you must crash from side to side within your portaloo to avoid the vicious fruit falling from the sky. But not only did the developer come up with a really funny premise here, but the weightiness of the character controller is just superb. Somehow it really feels like there's a person inside the loo shunting it from side to side every time you press a button. And when I was playing the game, I accidentally knocked the loo over several times. So I don't think I'd want to be there when the door finally opens. But really funny stuff, really great work, and I'm just completely impressed by what the developer's done. Awesome stuff. Next, we have Recursion by Drunkard or Joseph Huai. And well, this game was gripping, intense, thrilling, and scary. I think I felt my heart drop to my stomach through certain parts of the playthrough, and I genuinely panicked. It's just such a good horror game that uses the theme completely to its advantage. You find yourself in a strange facility of some sort, and as you progress through the rooms, you find yourself looping round and around in a way that doesn't really make sense. And then you start to find some things that are really unsettling and really unnerving. I'm a huge fan of the PSX graphic style too. It's a nostalgic choice that lends itself brilliantly to the genre. The script writing is very impressive as well. It really guides the narrative and builds suspense as you're looping round and round the endless sectors. The sort of rhythm you get into with opening the doors really adds to the tension too, especially when you have to do something that breaks that rhythm to see what else is going on. Awesome work from the developer here on Recursion. Schlooper is our next game by Glurbs. And this was some of the juiciest gameplay I had experienced throughout any of the games I played during the jam. Everything about this game felt like it was something out of a blockbuster action movie. The visual effects that had gone into this were spectacular. And when they're combined with the little additions such as the screen shake and the slow motion camera, you start to feel like you're some sort of actual action hero trying to save the world. Something like this could easily be expanded into a full game with lots of different weapons and enemies. And I think that this developer has a real knack for making games that are just fun to be in, to move around in, and to shoot things. The game ties all this action together really neatly in a looping level design that fits the theme really nicely, and this makes for an action-packed package that is completely worth your time. So great job to the developer for making this one. Twist, Turn, Shoot, Burn is our next game by gamepopper. And I think this game had some of the most unique mechanics I've seen this game jam. You see, you're stuck to the side of this looping circuit thing as enemies spawn that try to get you. However, you can flip the gravity at any point during the gameplay to flip to the other side of the looping track. This can lead to some pretty mind-bending movement as you move through the more curved sections of the track, as well as some pretty tense moments where you narrowly avoid an enemy with a last-minute dodge by changing the gravity. What's even more impressive is that this game has been built entirely in the developer's own framework that's been built off of SFML2. This makes the visuals look even more amazing as the post-processing effects look really good and help to round off an amazing game by the developer. So amazing work here, great job. Our penultimate game is called Danger Beat by Arhoff95, and this game, hands down, had the best music. And you sort of expect to see that when you see the word beat in the title. However, when the game starts, there isn't any music, but that's what makes this game so great. It's a bullet hell game where you must constantly avoid enemy projectiles while trying to collect these little records around the screen. For every record you collect, it adds another layer onto the music that's playing in the background. And this steadily builds into a really nice track. However, if you get hit, the layers of the track slow down and down, which really motivates you to keep that sweet music loop going. I love how the audio for this game is a mechanic that ties really closely in with the gameplay, as that's something that's really rare to see in a game jam game. And the overall finished product here is just absolutely sublime. Huge props to the developer here, and well done for making an amazing game. And our final game today is called The Ring of Happiness by JulienLussiez. Last, but by no means least in this list, this game was incredible. The voxel art style for this game is just so good. I can't believe they managed to do this in the short time allowed for the game jam. It's just amazing. And I was completely won over by the adorableness of the art, the charming music, and just the silliness of the story that's being told as you play. As you play, you make little decisions for your characters that unfold in sometimes fortunate but sometimes very unfortunate ways for your character that just made me smile every single time a new one popped up. This is a game that I went back and played through multiple times until I was sure that I had seen every single bit of dialogue and every animation that there was to see, because it was just too good to miss. This entry was just brilliant all round and deserves all the praise that deservedly goes its way. Pure brilliance from the developer who made this. And that's it from me today. And as I mentioned before, I also entered the competition with my own game. So if you wanted to check that out and also the devlog on my game, I would be very grateful. I'll be back next Tuesday with some of my favourite games from the jam category of the event, so stay tuned for that. And I normally make a review video every Tuesday and then my own devlog project video every Friday. It's just been a little different this week due to Ludum Dare. So subscribe if you want to see more of that, and until next time, goodbye.